Weekend 1 of the MW3 beta has come and gone, and with it, I kind of just want to talk about the good, the bad, and some of the ugly things I've seen of the beta. Now, we're just talking multiplayer. We're not talking about zombies. We're not talking about Warzone. Zombies, from what I've seen, not much good to talk about, I don't think. But that's another story for another day. But we're going to start things off here on the positive note, on the good side of what I did enjoy here in the MW3 beta. Starting things off, I know... We're gonna start with the maps, okay? I know they're the 2009 OG maps, and some people might like that for the nostalgia, some people might absolutely hate that they're just remakes and none new. But I want to say they did an amazing job. Visibility across the maps, I remember back in MW2, one, because of the technology, and two, I feel like they put like a dust or a haze or a smoke over some of the maps, and I feel like here in MW3, they completely got rid of that. You can see pretty crystal clear across the whole map and the vibrancy of the colors. The last couple years, we had Vanguard and we had MW2, and the colors on those maps were not the most vibrant. So I'm chalking that one up in the good category, the vibrancy and the clarity of the maps. Moving on to the gunplay. I really liked the gunplay, and that's important when you have a higher TTK or higher time to kill game. The gunplay feels absolutely amazing. I used a lot of the guns, actually. I used a pretty good amount of the guns, and I gotta say, I'm having a ton of fun playing it. And I think that moves into our next category here to help with the gunplay is the movement. We finally have some movement back in Call of Duty. Last year, MW2, I mean, even strafing was a struggle, man. It felt like you had cinder blocks tied to your feet. I'm so glad that there's some movement back in the game. And I like that the slide cancel, as of right now, is a little bit slower than it was in MW 2019, but it's still very fluid. And speaking about fluidity and the movement, one thing I really thought was pretty good here in the beta was the directional audio. I felt a lot of the times I could hear if the enemy was above me, to my left, below me, behind me. So I think they did an amazing job with that. However, we'll come back to the audio in the needs work or needs improvement category. But moving on to our good category, time to kill. This one I think is a little bit controversial, and I didn't think it was gonna be. So for me, a lot of people in the competitive scene and the creator scene, they seem to be liking the higher time to kill. Is this my year? It increases that skill gap a little bit, makes the game a little bit harder. So if you are better at the game, have better accuracy, you're gonna get more kills. However, I've ran into a couple people in my personal experience in the game chat complaining, one, that it wasn't realistic. They said you shouldn't be able to shoot someone 5 times and them not die. It's like, buddy, if you want to sign up to go to war, by all means, go ahead. I'm here trying to play a video game, you know? Like, I'm trying to play a video game, I'm trying to get competitive. I don't want to go to war. I just have to be realistic. What's he talking about? I think that's just a skill issue on his end. And I've been really liking the time to kill. I think it feels so much better. You can't just have some corner camper, just noob sitting in a corner, get a lucky 2 shots to the head and kill you. So big plus there in the time to kill. Next up, map voting is back. So that way, there's a better chance you will not get stuck with a garbage map. Better chance. It could still happen. The sniping in the game, I don't usually snipe. I haven't sniped for quite a while just because the sniping hasn't really been that great in the last couple years. But in this game, I don't know if it's the movement into the sniping or if it's just the way the sniping feels or what. But the sniping is very fun. I highly recommend giving it a go, even if you're not good at sniping, because I suck at sniping. It's going to take some work, some practice to get back into it. But in this game, sniping felt great. Switching things up here, going over toward the creative class or the gunsmith side of things. Perks, or should I say gear, whatever you want to call them. They're perks, alright, they're perks. The perks, they start working from the start of the game. I don't know what Infinity Ward was thinking. We're going to give you 2 perks. And then you can try to earn your other ones. No, what? I'm picking them perks. Let me have them from the start of the game. So thankfully they brought that back. Ninja or Dead Silence. What is it even called in this? It's like some type of sneakers. I forget what it's called in the game, but reduces your footstep noise. So thank you. Finally. Not as a field upgrade, but as a perk. And that's going to be everything on my good side that I could think of at the moment. There might be some more things here and there, little things that I just not remembering from the weekend. But moving on to the needs work or needs some improvement category. First up, I know my first thing on the good category was the maps, but also my first thing on the needs work category is visibility.
Too good. How do you beat it?
Now I know a lot of people have been complaining about the differentiation between your enemies, between your teammates and the enemies, but I agree that's a problem. But another issue that I was seeing on my end is, especially on Estate and Favela, I just couldn't see the enemies. There were times where I'm getting shot at, and I'm like looking at them. It could even be with a sniper. I'm sitting there staring in that direction where I'm getting shot from. I just can't see them. So I think there's a need. I don't know if it's a highlight around the operators, if it's like planting a red LED on the enemies like they had in Black Ops 4. I don't know what it is, but I think something needs to change that had better visibility of the players themselves. Now, differentiation between the enemies and your teammates, I think that could also help if you make the players a little bit more visible. Also, there's factions in the game. I think we have Task Force 141 and the Spetsnaz. If you make a colorway for one faction and a completely different colorway for the other faction, that'll also help be able to differentiate between your team and the other team. And I told you guys we're going to come back to talk about the audio. There's some work that needs done. I do believe the directional audio itself really, really good. However, your teammates' footsteps are way too loud in this game. There's even a bone conducting
What are you shooting at, bro?
headset or gear item in the game for one of the perks, and it's supposed to make enemy footsteps louder. However, it makes all footsteps louder. So I didn't really use that one too much just because it was a little disorienting using that because your teammates' footsteps are so loud, and being as difficult as it is to differentiate between the enemy and your teammate, with that perk I was just constantly shooting my teammates. I think they need to adjust, not only create a difference in sound between your teammates' footsteps and the enemy footsteps, but also lower your teammates' footsteps because they're just way too loud. This next item here, I'm just gonna glance over it very fast because I can complain about it, your mother can complain about it, your cousin can complain about it, literally everybody you know could complain about it. They're not going to get rid of it. And I'm not really asking them to get rid of it. It just needs toned down. And that's skill-based matchmaking. I think there was 3 games all weekend long that I was playing where I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to absolutely try my hardest to have fun in this game. The rest of the time, it literally felt like these people were competing to qualify for COD champs. And I'm just like, buddy, it's the beta. We need to calm down a little bit, all right? Like, what's going on? The skill-based matchmaking, man. If you're an above-average player, but you're not a pro player, if you're not the Scumps, the Shotsies, you're gonna struggle. Yeah, it's gonna be, you're either gonna have to really try, or you're just not gonna have fun. In some games, I'm just like, man, I just want to chill out a little bit, take it easy, relax. I could understand if it was ranked play. Because I enjoy playing ranked more than I do pubs. Just 1, it gets rid of all the garbage in the game. 2, it gives you more of a purpose or meaning to play the game. But rank's not in right now. We only have public matches. And, man, the skill-based matchmaking was just through the roof. It was insane. The spawns. Rust. Now, I understand that's a small map. You're going to have bad spawns on Rust. We're not even going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Skid Row and Favela. Estate, they weren't too bad just because it's such a massive map. But on Skid Row and Favela, those spawns were something else. There was multiple occasions where either I'm spawning in front of somebody in their line of sight, like you can watch the kill cam and I'm spawning in front of them, or they're spawning in front of me. Or they'll be sitting around a corner and you spawn here, you take 2 steps around that corner, you die. So there's got to be a rework of the spawns a little bit here in the game. And I believe they may have said they were already working on fixing this for weekend 2, which is absolutely amazing. Also, a big shout out to Sledgehammer for fixing the Battle Rage tactical. It was so busted. And they fixed that in a day. After the first day of the beta, it was fixed. Hopefully we get that support all year long. But another thing, I know movement was on my good list. But there was times where, I don't know if it was just delayed or if the slide just didn't work at all. So I'm not sure what the issue there was. They did say they were working on fixing the movement and smoothing it out a little bit. I thought the movement was pretty fluid overall when it worked. And the last thing I have on here, and I believe I touched on a little bit earlier, it's just a quality of life enhancement. It's not really it needs work or anything, I just thought I should throw it out there. I think it'd be nice to see a health bar above the enemies' names, or above the enemies' heads when they take damage, similar to what we had in Black Ops 4. With these higher time to kills, it would just be nice to have a health bar above their head, you know, and see how much health they do have left. Overall, it's just been one weekend and we only had a small sample to test. It's going to be very interesting to see a month or 2 months down the road how it is. I think MWIII, at least the beta, has been going pretty well. I've been having a ton of fun. It is going to be interesting to see once some of the seasons start dropping, the new maps that they're promising in Season 1 and Season 2 start dropping. Also, to see how ranked play is going to work in this game. But as of right now, I think this game is leaps and bounds ahead of what MW2 was. So I'm curious to know what you guys think down below. Do you agree with what I said? Do you not agree with what I said? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Is there anything I missed that I should have added to either category? You guys let me know, but I do appreciate you guys tuning into my videos. And we do have a week full of daily vlogs heading your way coming next week. So make sure you're subscribed and ding on bell for notifications. As always, guys, I'll catch you right back here in the next one. Peace out.